I shouldn't be looking at the camera.
Oh, look who's awake.
You're getting hella good footage, dude.
Meeting Savan and Abed was important in my life because that was sort of the beginning of actually making stuff, like actually creating content.
I met Justin in college. Me and him kind of hit it off because I was doing effects and video stuff, and there's not a lot of people in our hometown that kind of did that.
When I met them, it was like a kindred spirit kind of thing. And we all just like wanted to make funny stuff.
I mean, it was definitely like the first time in my life that I felt like I'd had a team of people that were on the same page as me.
You know, people that got my kind of humor and I got theirs. And it was almost like a language, you know, that you spoke that no one else understood.
We made a lot of commercials for a local CD shop.
There are CDs, DVDs, t-shirts, even a tiger.
I think you're wonderful.
Replay records.
Central Valley of California is not really popping. There's not too much going on there, you know, in terms of entertainment industry opportunities.
You wanted to make creative stuff and get out of the town.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
The stork.
What stork?
He has rocket feet. They propel him at speed so great that he doesn't age. He's like God, but he eats herring.
When I met Rob, we were doing comedy sports workshops in Milwaukee.
He was 19, I was 21. We started doing improv and sketch together.
We latched onto each other for comfort, security, and through a shared taste for pop cultural kind of meta humor.
I started doing a comic book on the side called Scud the Disposable Assassin, and then somebody said, hey, you should make this into a movie.
He decided to move to LA. He let me come along to write for him.
We wrote like a bunch of feature scripts that never went anywhere. We wrote a bunch of TV things that never went anywhere.
It's easy to sign contracts and it's easy to get meetings. It's easy to be the flavor of the day. It's not so easy to actually get a career going.
And so we were like saying, well, instead of waiting around to be lucky, why don't we make our own luck? And we just started shooting like these little movies and making each other laugh. We were like saying, why don't we do this monthly?
Justin has convinced me and Savan to move to LA. And we've been making cartoons and skits for like, I think a couple months.
And this is before YouTube, so we kind of just would create content with no one to show it to.
And then our friend shows us this website. It's called channel11.com.
Anybody in the world that's listening to us right now is allowed to submit a 5-minute first episode of any kind of television show that they want.
Me and Justin and Savan were like so intrigued by it. So we just submitted something we made.
I don't have your cereal. Just leave me alone, please.
Where is the cereal? Is there enough for me to have a bowl of cereal?
The thing we looked forward to every month was that rush and hearing the audience react to something you made. It was like a high.
Justin's, first of all, came in kind of blowing everyone's mind with his sensibility, his charm, and his like proclivity for professional grade animation.
Hello there, I'm Poopy Butthole Pooerson. Oh, you can call me Dirty Wet Poopy, Poopy Sloppy Pooer Hole.
Justin figured out a way to make cartoons super fast, within a month, every day after work, going to Justin's apartment. Yeah, we were like this cartoon making factory.
Like Justin would always submit these cartoons that the panel would love, but the audience would hate, until he did House of Cosby's.
It's a house of Cosby's.
I'm Dancing Cosby. I'm Curiosity Cosby. You see, I'm Cosby number 6. Bathtub Cosby.
House of Cosby's was the catalyst for Harmon and I to start collaborating on shit together. We both had a great deal of respect for each other and were fans of each other's shit that we were making.
So stop trying to make us all scared, like Pierce Brosnan in Dante's Peak.
That was a fucking incredible time. Like, we were all together, we were all making crazy shit, we were all admirers of each other's work.
At the time, none of us even realized that this would be anything. You know, we're all just a bunch of scrappy, like idiot kids making stuff that are just goofing around.
The point of Channel 101 was to not be perfect, was to just get shit done, get it out. It doesn't matter, it probably won't even get voted back. The most purest version of your art comes out that way. Harmon and Schraub created this venue that helped hone in on your craft.
You know, 101 is probably the best thing that Harmon and I ever did. It connected all these people who were so creative and fun.
We did feel like we were underdog legends. We were nerd barbarians. We had made what we were into cool, and that was paradise.
In 2006 at Channel 101, I made a short called The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty.
Don't be sad, Marty. We'll go back in time, and we'll make sure that your kite doesn't get stuck in the tree.
All right, Doc, that sounds great.
I had fallen in love throughout the course of making that cartoon with the voices of the two characters. I kept using those voices and things.
You know what she said to me?
Oh, Reggie, what'd she say, man?
Tell her what she said. Mitchell, I'm trying to do science in the basement, Mitchell.
Harmon calls me and he's like, hey, Adult Swim is asking me about an animated project. Do you have anything? Like, do you have any ideas? I'm like, well, what about, what about those characters?
I think we got as far as an animatic, and the animatic went over to Cartoon Network, and the thoughts coming back were, this is great in this way and that way and that way, and by the way, I think we should cast Morty. I don't think Justin should do both voices.
I just felt, wow, I don't like Morty. I really like Rick, but while Morty's funny for a couple minutes, I'm gonna get really tired of this. That was initially read as, could you recast Morty?
And I was like, fuck, okay. Because like I knew for me a big part of the show was like riffing back and forth with the character, doing both characters.
So Justin was terrified.
I know Justin was freaked out.
Harmon gave me really good advice. He's like, let's just see this through and let's see what happens.
We auditioned just 1 billion people.
I remember we submitted our top 3 and Lazo didn't like any of them. He was like, these are all just as bad. And we were like, okay, we got to get on the phone with Lazo.
I dreaded that phone call because I was like, man, now I'm thinking this is it because like everything's gonna fall apart. Mike Lazo's on the phone and I haven't worked with him that much, and he gets to the meat of it, which is like, it's not the voice, it's the fact that the character is such a punching bag.
I made a dinosaur!
You made a dinosaur!
Oh, I made a dinosaur!
Oh, Morty! What did you think was gonna happen, Morty? That thing makes dinosaurs when you touch it, Morty!
I made a dinosaur!
He was designed to be a stupid machine so that Rick could cuss at him. That's okay for 5 minutes, but if you're gonna make 10 half hours, it's not gonna work.
On that call, I said, listen, let me take another crack at the character. And he's like, that's fine, go for it. I started workshopping scenes. Harmon wrote me an email with like all these little paragraphs. So all of these scenes need to illustrate him standing up to Rick, because that never happened in the original pilot script, not once.
And one of them was they're in a flying car and Rick is drunk and he's gonna destroy the world with a neutron bomb.
She's probably nothing but trouble anyways.
Armin, neutrino bomb.
That's it, Rick! I'm taking the wheel!
Get off of me, Morty!
I'm taking charge of this situation, buddy!
What's gotten into you?
You love her so much, why do you stand around like some sort of dumb...
What are you, crazy?
Just let you run the whole world?
All right, Morty, all right. I'll land.
I get a call at like 8 in the morning. It wakes me up and it's fucking 415 area code. I'm like, oh shit, this is Adult Swim. So I answer it and it's Lazo. And he's like, all right, I watched the stuff. All right, you got it. You can do Morty. And I'm like, fuck, okay, holy shit.
Morty, to me, is one of the deepest characters in the show now because he has to deal with the most, and he, in essence, is the audience. When I watch Rick and Morty, I am Morty.
It's funny because it's like it was one of the worst crises to happen in the history of Rick and Morty's development, the potential of Justin not doing both voices, and it was the greatest thing that happened. It was this final puzzle piece.
I mean, listen, it is humbling to see how big this machine has gotten. Like, there are times where I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? It started out as me making dumb cartoons with my friends in my apartment, and now it's me making dumb cartoons with hundreds of amazing people.
I've seen some of the episodes 10 times. They don't get old. I mean, that's the basis of great entertainment. I want to see it again.
I mean, it really is cool to think back about how it all began. The best thing about it is that it proves a certain religion right, which is be yourself, work with your friends, don't tell jokes that don't make you laugh, don't tell stories that don't make you cry, and everything else is going to come out in the wash. Otherwise, what good is capitalism if it can't figure out what's awesome? I don't know. I'm babbling at the end. Can't even do my fucking documentary interview right.